Moth is a bigger creator than me by thousands of dollars.
Immediate and complete reports of local blood and guts.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes.
This video contains allegations against a reputable author and figure of the internet creepypasta community. Christopher Howard Wolf was born on September 21st of 1979. Some of his online aliases are part of his reputation. On Reddit, he is user/Tormentalist. He also has a dead YouTube channel under the name Tormental. However, Wolf is arguably most famous for his online moniker Slimebeast. Wolf is an American independent game developer and writer. He is the founder of the independent game company Wrong Games, and has also allegedly appeared on an episode of Dawson's Creek. But his largest claim to fame is his writings, most notably the Creepypasta, Abandoned by Disney. A rather mediocre piece that is mostly filler, but it focuses on a self-narrative of a photographer visiting an abandoned Disney attraction in the Bahamas, based on the Jungle Book. The narrator eventually finds an emaciated man in an inverted color scheme Mickey Mouse costume, and the words on the wall, "Abandoned by God." Wolf spends most of his free time managing his website, and searching his name on various social media platforms and harassing those who critique him in any formal way, obsessing and demanding that they submit into silence. He also moderates various subreddits, most notably r/creepypasta, a subreddit whose audience is primarily children and teens. My first encounter with Wolf was on Twitter. I made a comment about how it is well known that he harassed and falsely flagged a trans content creator's video, admitting this on his own channel, and then proceeded to stalk her. He also obsessively dove into her past and accused her of rape and grooming. Wolf's behavior online is erratic and aggressive. The idea that he is an author has clearly gone to his head, yet he bleeds severe insecurities in his dialogue almost consistently. I was quickly informed he is a member of That Creepy Readings Discord, who was recently exposed for his disgusting behavior and associations as well. There, Wolf had the role of legendary writer. Other information suggests that he may have helped TCR script videos before he left the server. What began as trolling, a seemingly socially inept and out-of-touch creator, quickly turned into an investigation into who he really was, as I was quickly tipped off by one of his former victims of his actions and his patterns of abuse and harassment of victims and critics that he feels that he can silence. To make matters worse, evidence of stalking, doxxing, transphobia, misogyny, and worse, pedophilia turned up. At a glance, his incel behaviors are the first red flags. He quite literally lives online, especially on his main Reddit account, user/Tormentalist, where he often gets into aggressive and degrading arguments with strangers, many of which just happen to be marginalized individuals. One quick example is a thread about a video where a woman who was counter-protesting an anti-trans rally is assaulted by a police officer, immediately bootlicking the police and quickly defending his gross statements. He is quick to attack those he feels presents as females with degrading comments and insults. He even goes as far as suggest the video was staged for clout, suggesting it is a common tactic used by women to attain viral attention. He often uses his age as a power dynamic as well, referring to anyone he is insulting as kid, which may seem like a stretch, but as we dive deeper and read further between the lines, you will see how the patterns of abuse quickly turn into perversions. And the power dynamic aspect is most certainly a concern in this matter. In my wife's own experiences, this man has gone out of his way to target her specifically, and he seems to make a fine point to degrade her, as well as some of the people calling him out, comparing them to animals, calling them monkeys or subhuman, and of course insulting their weight despite being obese himself. Wolf reveals in several comments that he identifies as asexual, which unfortunately seems to be a common occurrence with these people shielding themselves with asexuality as a mean to divert suspicion. And yes, I am aware that sexuality is indeed a spectrum, but as we continue, you will fully understand my point and my suspicions. His abuse and aggression is most certainly aimed at women primarily, and his unhealthy, violent sexual insults, as well as many years of testimony, show he is deeply embedded into incel culture, including on the lolcow forums. In this segment, I'm going to read verbatim Wolf's posts from the lolcow forums, an image board similar to 4chan but with closer similarities to the intentions of Kiwi Farms. In these posts, he details how he began to stalk Mr. Creepypasta, his alleged ex, and trying to form a story that she was forced to have an abortion. He also grew obsessed with Mr. Creepypasta's wife, posting violent and degrading sexual things. I will warn you, this next segment is very graphic in description. And Anon asks, gonna need to see receipts of the cheating story. That's really fucked.
This was the fangirl that got knocked up. Her username was Mr. Creepypasta's whore, and then eventually changed to Mr. Creepypasta's kitten, to enigmatic feline XOXO or something. When I first stumbled across the allegations when looking for stuff about MCP's past scams, I thought she was just a delusional fangirl. But she had photographic receipts of them together. I can't bring the ones from her Tumblr that showed her naked in his bed, pics with him shortly after, up on my phone right now for some reason, but I have this one. Bottom right picture is a collage from a trip I guess they made it to meet up in April. Right before he proposed to his now wife and asked fans for money for the ring. I'll post a screen cap of the pic she posted on Instagram of the two of them together from the Tumblr set. The only safe for work ones, I guess she didn't want the not safe for work ones on her Insta. The safe for work photos that she leaked after it broke off. I think most of her captions had to do something with never have sex with YouTubers or something of that nature. I get the feeling she wasn't the most stable.
There's some banter back and forth about the subject of the topic, and of course some comments about members of the thread being pure cancer. Some members of the thread called out the OP for pointing out that this girl allegedly had an abortion when the post said that she miscarried. Despite this, true to his nature, Wolf didn't back down. Instead, he decided to dump more posts.
According to her social media post, she went in for an abortion and found out she had already miscarried. A lot of her posts and social media accounts have their names changed or have since been deleted. You can still find them if you look a little.
Again, the thread questions him as he posts something bizarre, being a screen capture of her foot, saying whoops, wrong order. Pressing the issue, he continues saying,
No, not the wrong files. As stated before, she's deleted a lot of the posts and social media accounts around the time the thread started. These are probably still caps out there somewhere, but these pictures are from her changed Twitter handle.
Once again failing to back up his claim to the frustration of the thread, he was eventually pressured to dump more, which at best was just pure schizopost speculation as to why she had an abortion because she changed her usernames. There's not a whole lot to go on here with that, other than the fact that he's a stalker and became quickly obsessed with his competition and whatever he could find on them. One thing to note as well, Wolf has mentioned before that he is a user of the Kiwi Farms forums. He now since denies that, same with the lolcow forums. Eventually down the thread, he does something deeply disturbing. He uploads non-consensual sexual images of this alleged ex, and possibly Mr. Creepypasta. And then, he begins to speculate based on this image the terms of a pregnancy, and still declares that as evidence that she got an abortion, further harassing Mr. Creepypasta, his now wife, and this girl, and encouraging others to do so. Regardless of the situation, it's really nobody's business what goes on behind closed doors, especially given the fact that all of this is technically all legal, but what started it? It all started because Mr. Creepypasta narrated Abandoned by Disney. The last post I wish to share with you is a graphic one as well, where Wolf describes Mr. Creepypasta's wife.
This is his wife. I forgot to mention that she quote-unquote cosplays MCP's favorite characters because they all have big titties and she thinks that her whale titties match that body type. We're talking Moo level fat. At least Moo can somewhat do makeup. This Elvira made me want to die. Maybe I should have made a separate thread about her because goddamn my soul is so strong for being scammed out of my money. And she's a landmine, a land whale of a shitty Etsy cosplay content. Also stated in this Draw My Wife video, she's also a fangirl who moved across country to be closer to him. That's not fucking creepy at all. Also, he married a fucking fangirl who moved across country to be closer to him. Between her and the fangirl he knocked up, I'm sensing a pattern.
The loss of money he was expressing is because he feels that anyone monetizing a video narrating Abandoned by Disney is directly stealing from him, despite him, stealing from a copyrighted media source, Disney. Coincidentally, or perhaps not, at the same time this thread began, Slimebeast also released a document levying the same allegations and some of the same insults against Mr. Creepypasta and his wife and associates. The writing patterns and the fingers and the ear arguments are as transparent as can be, and his continued pattern of stalking and misogynistic abuse does not end with these posts. These people simply invoked the incel's wrath by reading an Abandoned by Disney story on YouTube. Money, a highly coveted item for anyone, but to an abuser, to a predator, it means power. And a money-fueled ego and a constant gluttony for power is exactly what Wolf exhibits in every single incident of harassment and him cry-bullying online. He weaponizes small sock accounts and miserable smear tactics with no evidence, banking on his 70,000 strong subreddit to back him up as a weapon, although they hardly ever do. Or trying to garner support from some of his mediocre YouTube channels. In reality, his fame and popularity is a delusion of grandeur, as no one really knows who he is except his victims. No one remembers that story, and really it's hardly memorable at all. In the case of May Leeds, also known as Nyx Fears, she also fell victim to the permanent vengeful gaze of Wolf as she narrated Abandoned by Disney, and when harassed and insulted about it. May clapped back and shut Wolf down, and so did her audience for his transphobic statements. And this drove him into a rage. He began to accuse her of rape and grooming, and did whatever he could to try to push her into silence, including falsely filing a copyright strike on her channel, claiming she took it directly from his channel, and he made an immediate video gloating about it and admitting he made transphobic comments calling her a man, which he has since hidden. However, we have acquired this video, and I will now play the audio.
Dear May, by the time you see this, if you ever see this, it's likely that you've already received a DMCA notification. Wow, what a surprise. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Slimebeast DMCA'd the video because he doesn't like negative reviews, but so why exactly did I take this action? Well, as you know, May, your comments on the video were full of Nightmind fans who are mad from a previous issue, randomly making accusations of homophobia, transphobia, racism, different things like that against me. Now, I would be perfectly happy answering those people and correcting them and pointing people to the right information, but what you did, May, was you blocked me on your channel so that I couldn't answer them, and everything they were saying would just stay there and remain as slander, libel, basically until the end of time, or YouTube, whichever ends first. So yeah, you let your platform become toxic, and when I tried to defend myself against the toxicity, you silenced and deplatformed me so that I couldn't even respond. Not only did you reply positively to the people posting this dreck, But you also didn't remove obviously toxic and hateful content. Now, you claimed that you don't control other people, but that is literally not the case. A removal button, a block button, is literally controlling what people can say. So, do you have to delete comments that are slandering me? Well, no. But if you leave them up and you prevent me from answering them, well, that's just encouraging and inciting slander, isn't it? So what is a DMCA for? What is a copyright claim for? First of all, it can be for inappropriate usage of the content. It can also be against content that is damaging the original work. So when you put my story up, alongside a slew of people calling me a homophobe, transphobe, racist, bigot, and so on, just because they like Nightmind and were mad that I made a video about him, that is damaging to my work. It's damaging to me. It's damaging to my career. It's public harassment that I can't even counter. So I encourage you, May, to go forward thinking about what exactly you're promoting and encouraging on your platform. Because you've done what bad Creepypasta couldn't do. You've done what Jenny Nicholson couldn't do. You've done what nobody in the history of YouTube has ever done. And you've gotten me to file a DMCA against a review because you're putting it alongside content that actively and purposefully damages my work, my career, me as a person. If you disagree with this decision, then I encourage you to make a review video of Stephen King's latest novel. Let your comments go wild, calling Stephen King, I don't know, random accusation. How about a pedophile? And see how long it lasts before your channel is taken down entirely.
This is a clear violation of the YouTube DMCA copyright system, as well as the community guidelines. He voiced intimidation, malicious intent, and again, like I said, a clear abuse of copyright law. The video was even titled DMC May. Another content creator who will remain anonymous for now messaged me alleging that Wolf got his private cell phone number and then began to harass him, demanding that he lies about me. Another alleges that they were attacked for years by him and his friends and still continue to be harassed by them, and they don't even wish to talk about it. Deep diving into the social media accounts of Wolf within his DeviantArt is some of the most damning evidence against him. We will now explore the evidence there and how this led to Wolf accidentally admitting to stalking a child for 18 years. Within his account on DeviantArt, he has over 400 favorited images, most of which aren't too alarming on the surface, but as you dive deeper it becomes clear that the self-proclaimed asexual, author of children's stories, does have a preferred body type. Wolf would try to refute these claims on a voice call with me, claiming the child in the art has pubic hair, so she's not a child, and even posing an argument that she's not human and that the artist is 18 plus. Unfortunately, the audio for that segment of the stream was lost due to a poor internet connection. However, his excuses in chat remain, as well as over 500 witnesses to the event. To make matters worse, there's also a photo of a real girl who appears very young. On May 23rd of 2023, I discussed this matter on a live stream to which Wolf attended. He was invited into a voice call where he continuously dodged questions and diverted blame with baseless accusations and insults, to the point where he had to be yelled at and scolded to even acknowledge the simple questions asked as we went back and forth insulting. He also continuously avoided the question of the child's age in the photo, despite defending himself with the claim that he knew the photographer and the subject was, quote, a friend. But under the pressure from the audience, he eventually cracked and admitted that, I quote, the child was 13. He would later change this story to say it was a cell photo of a 20-year-old woman. But the problem lies here. According to Wolf, the subject was allegedly 20 in 2012, but he had been following her since 2005, favoriting images and obsessing over her. Doing the math, it makes sense now why he said she was 13, because this would be the age that she was when he began to follow her, and perhaps by coincidence, he also made his account around the same time as she did. In the next segment, I will be playing a few clips from the voice call I had with Christopher Wolf, in which he defends the lolicon and in his own words incriminates himself.
You also play on the LGBTQ community because why would an asexual save images of minor children? What is your excuse at 26 years? What, you showed it in your own video. Why, one picture, why did you have children favorited? And you want to call somebody sick because they used a 60-minute clip. Play your own video.
Children favorited where?
Oh my god. Why do you keep deflecting this?
Delusional.
Are you talking about DeviantArt?
I promise you.
Yes, DeviantArt, you
He was hit a lot in the head.
In the video that you posted today, when you were fucking going, when you were panicked, no DMCA for you. Listen, when you play your own fucking video and you showed, oh, this girl with a sunflower, what's wrong with that? That was a first image of a child. We're not even talking about the one you stalked.
How old was she?
Very clearly young. How about the nude images on Lolicon?
How old was she?
I don't even fucking know. Why is that the question? If she appeared to be a minor.
He doesn't know which victim you're referring to.
If she appears to be a minor, why are you saving those images? She is very clearly a fucking minor. At the time when you favorited the other images, this girl was 15 years old. You were 26 years old, Christopher. Why were you saving those images? No, not until I'm ready. Christopher, why were you saving images of a 15-year-old girl?
Where does it say she's 15?
Why did you save explicit images of lollies and actual children?
Who? Where?
I don't know these children's names, do you?
What? What photos where? Are you talking about on DeviantArt?
Yes, you said you saved the child's photo, but you keep saying, what's her age? What's her age? What does it matter? She's clearly not a dwarf or someone that's suffering from some sort of deficiency. She was very, very clearly a child. I have children myself, you know.
People who appear young of age in some regard and have said, this
Please
is
stop.
a child, and you favorited the photo. Question. Do people have paintings on their walls or photos on their walls where they don't know who the fuck is in it?
Absolutely.
They still have artwork? Can I favorite a photograph from someone?
Not a child!
Not a child, you fucking absolutely
That
not.
is disgusting.
Do not excuse your fucking behavior because she didn't have a goddamn ID. You sick motherfucker. I have kids of my own. My daughter is fucking older than that girl in that fucking picture. Who are you fooling?
Talking about a photograph of a girl holding a sunflower.
Who?
You think it's
Why
okay
were you
because it's art?
favorited?
That's nasty.
That was not the only photo.
He's making excuses because he thinks it's just art.
If I
That
was
is
a pedophile,
fucking
why would there
nasty.
be fucking one photo of a child if
That wasn't the only photo. Why? What? Explain the lolicon. Why do you like lolicon?
What lolicon?
Why do you like young appearing naked drawn
Lolicon.
girls?
What?
As an asexual, why is your body type that of a 12-year-old girl? In your DeviantArt.
Multiple times, Wolf changes his defense and argues that the model was an adult. He later said he knows the photographer personally and that the subject was allegedly her friend. It was then revealed she was 13. He would immediately claim the account to be fake, despite being the only Slimebeast in the chat. Then he claimed Photoshop, video editing, all within a matter of 2 minutes or so. But I think he made a mistake, and I want to go over it again. In this photo he used to refute these claims on Twitter, in his own words, Wolf claims the subject was 20 years old in 2012. Again, if you do the math, when he admits to saving these images in 2005, around the same time he created his account, which was around the same time that her account was created, the math speaks for itself, and the concerning factor is here is just one example of his predatory behavior. He also claims to know the subject and the artist, and said the photographer and himself were in their 20s at the time, backing up this claim. Since the live stream, he has since blocked me and begun to try to clean up any trace of his predatory activity on his accounts, and has made 6 or 7 total videos about me in hopes of diverting the negative attention and having his audience harass me. However, I feel the proof here is, well, in the pudding, and it poses a very real danger to actual children and other vulnerable individuals. As I have been very public with my crusade, so to speak, to expose these predators, out of fear for being exposed for his behavior, Slimebeast has since made posts about myself on the r/creepypasta subreddit and others, and I have had minors threaten me consistently since. He has also hidden the moderators list for the subreddits he belongs to so no one can warn them or contact them about the situation, and he can control the narrative with a bias. Wolf is a mod for the following subreddits: r/creepypasta, r/stayawake, r/nostory, r/iconpasta, and r/horror narrations. All have very large communities that welcome minors. He is active on 2 YouTube channels, Slimebeast and Creepypasta. His account Tormentalist is also something to look at as well. Wolf's Dead channel contains many videos, in fact thousands, including upwards of 10 hours of him playing Among Us and Minecraft with fans. Fans from the very same subreddits as before. And his most viewed video uses a clickbait type title, but pure and simply shows users how to allegedly find pornography on the YouTube platform under the guise of being for awareness. This video is not age restricted, and if that were truly the point, why go this far to prove it? Why not just warn people? Within minutes of arguing on Twitter, Wolf flashed his alleged PayPal account and screenshots of video to try to leverage power to me and intimidate, which shows me he is quite comfortable exhibiting this manipulative, abusive behavior. This is where I fear the allegations from his Discord server are true, and with his passion for harassing, stalking, and doxing others, Wolf is no stranger to trying to intimidate people he feels are vulnerable. And in my personal opinion, I feel Wolf is one of the most dangerous redditors online, as he actively rallies and openly manipulates a very large and young community of people to do his dirty work. Many people are afraid of being doxxed or further harassed by Wolf and his friends, and do not want to be credited for their testimony. I encourage you to speak out and go public, as he cannot hurt you, but people can help get your story out there. His abusive smear tactics hold no substance and are purely riding on his delusions of power and fame that he actually does not have. He tried to victimize the wrong people and is being exposed for who he truly is. A hateful, miserable incel who has stalked a child for 18 years. Excused his indulgence of lolicon with claims of body hair and bullied victims into silence. No more. One more thing. It was very alarming with his wording regarding the claims of Daisy's destruction. He insists to know what the uncut footage looks like without watching it as some form of accusatory statement. Many people, including myself, asked, well, how would he know this? Shortly after my stream ended, someone replied to one of Slimebeast's angry tweets with a screenshot showing they allegedly had the entirety of Daisy's destruction. He was quick to blame me. However, I would never condone that sort of thing or harassment in general. But it goes to show what kind of perverted eyes are watching this situation. For legal reasons, this is all speculative and allegations until he's proven guilty. But I want you to look at the evidence provided and tell me what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching and hearing out this expose. If you'd like to